Welcome, Cheryl. Whitman, beautiful forever. Technical difficulties as always. We're here to improve patient loyalty. And I'm here to interview Dr. Azza Halim, who has some really great pearls to share with you on her patient loyalty. And I know that her patients are loyal. I know that she guarantees she has a turnkey type situation and program that works for her. But in your practice, in your med spa, you can tweak it to work for you in your existing business. But the key is patient loyalty. You want to keep your internal database growing. Word of mouth marketing is the least expensive, and it will be the most profitable for you overall. And you want happy patients. Happy patients always refer. And through referrals, that's the way you grow your network. So today I'm going to introduce Dr. Azza Halim, who is board certified in multiple things: anesthesiology, anesthetic medicine, and anti-aging, as well as all type of new technologies in medicine. We talk about hormones and we talk about regenerative medicine, and she's very knowledgeable across the board. Her expertise is expanded from rejuvenation into integrative medicine and functional medicine, and hyperbaric medicine, which one day we'll do an interview just on that, which is pretty interesting. But she combines her knowledge of beauty from the inside out and focuses on the patient. And she really does a great consult, spends a lot of time, as you'll hear and learn, on skincare, on diet, on fitness, a whole lifestyle change, not just give you injections and tell you to go home and I'll see you next year. She creates a whole program. She runs a medical consulting firm as a national speaker for Boston BioLife and Empire Medical. And she currently practices in Florida, Chicago, has satellite offices in California and New York. I don't know with COVID how you're getting around, but you're doing a good job. And so I am excited to share some of the strategies and some of the pearls today and introduce you to Dr. Azza Halim.
Thank you, Cheryl, and thank you for that introduction. And I'm honored to be here with you today. And I'm looking forward to this, to be able to share as much knowledge, pearls, and any tips that I can share with everyone that can help with their med spas, especially right now during this whole transition with the whole COVID-19, the new era that we're living in. So I think we do have to step things up a notch.
Well, now with COVID, there's a lot going on. There's some states, well, I know one of them that you're sitting in right now is Florida. It actually has opened up slowly, and now they're in trouble, but that's a whole other story. And so now we're looking at New York, New Jersey. I'm sitting in Massachusetts, where things are moving very slowly, which is probably a good thing, but we don't know what we're looking at moving towards the future. So there's virtual consults. There's consults, there's ways to be safe, and we know about that. But today we're going to talk about building trust through the consultations that you do and your process, which I think is amazing. So I think the first question is, how do you do a consult that you feel is really unique to what others are doing out there and create these treatment plans?
So the first thing that I do, and I think that's what's differentiated me from a lot of my other colleagues, and a lot of colleagues do ask me the same question. So one of my things is I focus on each patient as an individual. I don't do cookie cutter, and I do customize. That's the reason on my Instagram and my website, it's the theme is one size does not fit all. What does that mean? It means that basically when you come into my office, I take a look at you, I discuss with you what are your concerns, because I think it's very important in order to have a winning consultation with someone. You need to connect with them at all levels. You need to first find out what are their concerns, what is really bothering them. We each have a different eye for everything. So you may be bothered by your lips, but once I finish talking to you and I take a look at your overall whole lifestyle features, everything, I may see something else that you probably didn't see. And that's where I take into consideration the full facial structure, the anatomy, the face, to make sure everything is in balance and is also symmetric. And we talk about things from everywhere from your lifestyle, your skincare, because that plays a huge factor into beauty and wellness in my practice.
And I understand that. So when somebody comes in and something is bothering them, That's obviously the focus, and you have to really listen to them. And maybe, you know, they want everything done, but they can't afford it. So how do you intertwine budget into what you're doing? Because that's really important. And patient financing options are growing, and there's some new amazing programs out there, like with Care Credit and so forth, as you're aware of. But how do you deal with those issues, especially now? And are you seeing that? You're in Boca Raton, Florida right this moment. I know you have other locations, but what are you seeing and hearing? Because we hear it from all over the country right now.
Right. So we have different pools of patients, and I think every practice does. And I always customize and cater to each individual as far as not just their looks and needs and concerns, but their budget. Budget is very important. And I agree with you, because I think we all want to look beautiful. We all want to maximize health and nutrition and wellness, but we can't afford sometimes to do all of it at once. I am not a big proponent or supporter of trying to do everything all at once, because I'm not a key proponent of upselling. What does that mean? Every practice may want to upsell because obviously it's part of business and marketing. But what I think you need to do is, first, you do your consultation, then you discuss with the patient their concerns, you share with them what you see, and then you have a treatment plan. And once you have the treatment plan, you go over pricing. Now, once you do the pricing part, that's where the patients will come and say to you, well, that's out of my budget, or I can't do this, or, oh no, I don't think so. If the patient walks out of the door at that point without you creating a customized budget and treatment plan, you've lost that patient, okay? So that's where patient loyalty comes in. And that's patient trust. Building that foundation, as Cheryl has emphasized, is very key. And especially now during the whole financial and economic crisis that we're in. So what you want to do is work out a treatment plan according to their budget. So if you decide that you, for example, are doing 1, 2, 3, or 4 fillers that somebody needs in order to do cheek augmentation or lip augmentation or temporal fillers, then what you want to do is say to them, let's do it step by step. Let's do 1 or 2 syringes at a time. Let's then come back and reassess in a month, 2 months, 3 months, and you can always add more. Same thing with lasers, any kind of devices, rejuvenation, because those also are very costly. Unfortunately, nothing in the world of aesthetics comes cheap because of the cost, of course, to the practices and the overhead and the devices, as we all know.
Do you offer monthly specials and programs to entice people to come back in that maybe are patients who just fell off, you know, whether it's COVID or not? And, you know, how do you market that?
We absolutely do. We do monthly specials, and a lot of times too, we do it in conjunction with all of the key companies. So everyone usually has an account with, whether it's Allergan, Galderma, Merz, and what you do is in conjunction with them, they will promote to the offices, and then you're able to extend those, you know, bargains, promotions, and everything else that are discounted to the patient. And when you do that, the patients always will try to zoom in and focus on, okay, let me wait till this month or next month. Now, unfortunately, a lot of times, unless you do your own in-house promotions, you don't know what the companies are going to come out with each month. Because I have patients ask me that question all the time. Oh, what's the July special? What's the April special? And I can't predict what's Allergan, Merz, or Galderma going to do. So you can also create your own in-house promos. And what does that mean? Just not too long ago, Allergan did a promo that if you do X amount of fillers, you get Botox or so forth. You yourself can also extend a similar promotion from in-house so that you can say, okay, buy 1 filler, get the second filler half off, okay? And that you can promote any time of the year, and you have more predictability, and you're able to share it to your patients by whether it's email, text message, however your communication that you're using with your patient, in order to get them back and to also get them in, even if they've never had anything done. You will once in a while have patients that will come in the consultation, they're enticed, but they still can't really afford that 1 syringe or that 1 laser treatment. So yes, those are the patients you need to have a database of so that you can try to give them promotions, as well as with the referrals. So say you send me one of your friends or family, then I will give you a referral reward, and I'll give your friend and family referral reward, and you can accumulate that as points or dollars in your account to use towards the service.
So that's done through the front desk. They know who has referred who. So when somebody calls in and says, I would like to book an appointment, Dr. Azza Halim, they say, who referred you? Is that how the process goes?
Yes, exactly. And this is why we always encourage patients to tell their friends and family, oh, make sure that, say, Cheryl Whitman referred me to Dr. Halim. Then I need to know that, because when they call to book the appointment, my front desk won't know unless you share that information. Now, what I do to minimize that from falling through the cracks, even if you don't, when you call and you make your appointment, you don't say, oh, Cheryl referred me. When you come and sit in my chair and we do your initial consultation, I always personally take an interest and ask you, oh, so how did you find out about me? Or how did you hear about my practice or my services? And patients will either tell me, oh, through your website, because I have my own separate website from the practice, or from your Instagram. Oh, Cheryl actually said she really loved her results, so I wanted to make an appointment with you. And I get that all the time.
Now that's great that you keep track of it. And do you actually send like a thank you note? Like, how does somebody know that their friend came to you? Because years ago we would say handwrite thank you notes, and everybody just started just doing emails. But I think maybe we need to go back to the old-fashioned way of communication sometimes.
So nowadays, in the world of technology, we have the emails and the SMS messaging. So usually what I do, and I know a lot of my colleagues will say to me, but that's crazy, but this is another thing that I personally take interest in. So I actually, because most of my clients, everybody almost pretty much has IG, Instagram, I will go ahead and either send them a personal SMS or an IG message, because I want to always let them know that I am involved personally. It's not just automated. It's not just once you come through the practice and you get shuffled through, you pay your bill and you're out the door and I never know you again. And that's the one thing that I have to admit, as I build a personal relationship with my clients and my patients. So they're able to email me if there's a question or a concern, because let's face it, in the world of aesthetics, you don't have a 911 phone number to call. And you don't have an on-call person. We all know at the hospital, if there's an emergency and that physician's not on, you can find another physician. But in the scheme of things, say you have a procedure done on a Friday, and now Saturday, Sunday, you have really bad bruising, swelling, or something that you've never had, don't know, and you're freaking out about. Who are you going to contact? So I actually make sure that they either have a direct connection through email to myself or my medical assistant, so that somehow, some way, I'm reachable.
Right, because you have to be careful on social media, even when you're replying back. You know, we have HIPAA, there's compliance.
Correct.
Even if it's not medical information, you can't really say, this is my patient. So
Right.
I think you might be more savvy on Instagram. When we deal with a lot of practices, they could mess up and do something on their personal and not do it private. And I think that has to be something that has to be looked at very carefully. And I think you're doing a good job at it. And as in all businesses, even consulting, we like when people follow us or people are on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn and everybody shares and makes comments, because that helps to grow everybody's practice. Just, you can't do, you know, a consult that way. But I know when you do consults, when we, you know, discuss this, you have like 3 main things that you cover. And I think it's great because everybody's looking for prevention, especially the younger audience. And then we have maintenance for everybody. And then reverse signs of aging. Okay, I'm ready. So, so between the—
Don't need anything, Cheryl.
I guess I'm sitting far back. So because of prevention, maintenance, reversing, how do you deal with those 3 categories? Is it according to age and gender, or is it just a program you put together for everybody?
So here's the thing. It's a great question, because I have patients that come to me of all ages, because even people have said, oh, you have to be careful of age groups. And no, because I actually take care of patients that are coming in for acne concerns. Their parents will bring them in and they are at the age of 15, 16, whatever age. So they're still under 18 or 21. I have patients that are coming in their 20s and all the millennials because they want the Kylie Jenner lips or whatever. And then I have patients who have had years of sun damage. So for every single group, it's a different treatment plan. Now, what I do is I focus on what is going on right now, what is their concern, whether it's acne, fine lines, wrinkles. So we start off treating and addressing those concerns. If it's just a matter of patients that have been doing a lot of maintenance or have had facelifts and they want to do maintenance, then we go into the prevention and maintenance phase. as those people that want to reverse, or they want to change, or they don't like their contouring, or they don't like their skin quality now over the years, then we go into the anti-aging reversal. And in conjunction with that, that's where I integrate a lot, and that's why I love integrative functional medicine. I am able to go through their whole questionnaire, including blood work, labs, and so forth. And I actually offer that through telehealth and telemedicine through my Chicago office. And that's why nationwide, I'm able to do consultations via conference video calls with people who fly in from all around the country to me, to wherever I am, in order for me to be able to do their aesthetics, but also I can manage their wellness and anti-aging actually virtual, which is great because nowadays too, a lot of the lab companies that I work with, I can have the lab testing sent to their home from the lab. So when I take a look at all of that, I can go ahead and maximize their results between skincare, between what injectables or lasers they may need, and as well as diet and nutrition.
So people flying in from other places, I mean, is it for that part of your global business now because people don't really want to fly?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Because
the global business and people flying in. Right now, I know when I had to fly, I was very nervous. I'm going to fly again in a week or two, and I'm nervous about it. Are people showing concerns about flying in to you? I mean, because if they used to come into you every 3 months or 4 months, I guess they're just holding off. I'm just wondering what response you're getting.
So I've seen a 50% decrease in that, but I still have that 50% who actually, I have been the one to call them and say, I don't think you should come right now. Maybe you should wait, or you should hold off before you book your appointment and book your flight and make the trip to here. Because I have people coming to me from California, Colorado, the Northeast Coast, the Midwest. A lot of them also ask you, oh, when are you going to be in Chicago? Then they will wait for their appointments in Chicago. I try to accommodate people there, but those that know that I'm not traveling yet right now are willing to come to Florida. And it does amaze me that there are some people that are actually willing to get on a plane for their aesthetic treatment.
Now I don't know about coming to Florida, but I guess if you don't watch the news, if you don't watch the news these days, it's okay. But going back to the plan. So now you've done your consult and you've created a plan. So now there's a patient sitting in the office waiting for you to review with them all that you discussed with them and you went through with them. But sometimes it's hard to remember a year's worth of program or plans or injectables, lasers, skincare. People start to lose it, or they start thinking about, well, what's my downtime, or how much am I spending? And there's roadblocks that get in the way and people start to just freeze up. So how do you then review with them? Do you print something? Do you handwrite something? What's your next step after you've done the consult?
So step 1, consult. Step 2 is the treatment plan. And as I'm making the treatment plan, my medical assistant is actually through the EMR logging in all the information, because obviously nobody has photographic memory anymore these days. Then she will go ahead and print out for them the price quotes per procedure. She will go and get the printout. She will bring it in. And with that stack of paper, she will hand that to me so that I may then review it with the patients. And as you said, no one is expected to remember what should I do first, second, third, how many months later. I then go ahead, as I am reviewing it, I make notations for them. I mark on each paper, step 1, step 2, and I also write on them for under eyes, for lips, neck, laser, filler. I actually give them much more detail than just the price quote. I explain to them on each paper so that they can take that home almost like a booklet, and then they can decide, okay, do I want to do this now or in 6 months? And then I also create a separate skincare sheet for them in order to follow as well. So that is their skincare plan. And if they want to buy products, I help them pick out where they can get their products from, if we don't sell it or if we do sell it, because everybody carries different lines. So that's what I do in order to go through it with the patients. Then they decide on their budget. So say, for example, to make it more simplistic, you come in and you want everything from fillers to lasers and your skincare. And then you get the price quotes and you say, oh my gosh, I can't put that on my credit card. I can't afford it right now. I will then go ahead and streamline what you should start off with first, and then take you through that so that you don't need to do anything again now for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months, so you can plan your budget. We do have patients that say, well, I just want to pay everything up front, and it's like a credit account. and others will want to put it on care credit, as you said, or some will say, okay, can you give me a full year's worth of appointments so I can budget myself? So I give them that flexibility. I discuss all the various options that simplifies it for them. And once you do that, you're also getting their loyalty, because a lot of times many of them have said to me, oh, no one's ever really told me that, or no one's ever offered me that. And as you mentioned, Cheryl, referral by word of mouth is one of the best, because that's how people also will trust you, because if they know you got great results, they see it on you, they're going to be more inclined to come to that person.
Well, it's true. I mean, if somebody has a friend, the first thing they're going to do is tell them about it when their friend says they look great. Next thing they can do is look you up, whether it's your website, whether it's your testimonials, your before and after pictures, and then, you know, they will call you to make an appointment. And then it's your job to sell them on it. So when you do these consults, it sounds like you spend a lot of time with the patient. What do you spend, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes?
Yes, so the average consult is interesting, because even when I've taught around the country and I've just gotten a general consensus from attendees that are getting into the industry or have been already in the industry, they all ask me, oh, well, what's your consultation time? And I say to them, well, what do you think? So for the average aesthetic consultation, I do spend 30 minutes. Most people on national average are 15 minutes, so I do give twice as much time. If it comes to a wellness anti-aging functional, then you need to spend 45 minutes, because you need to be able to go through also lab testing and so forth. So I think that's a fair assessment, because in 15 minutes, unless you're doing a quick skin check, you're not going to be able to spend quality time with your patient.
So if somebody needs a dermatologist or somebody needs a plastic surgeon, what do? You give, if it's beyond your help, or you've worked with them for years and now they need to go to another step, or you see something, so you just send them out, you give them an option of people to go to?
Yes, that's correct. And luckily, because I've worked on a national level and I've done hospital startups and worked with so many practices in the country, I do have a pool of referral of physicians around the country. So if somebody says to me, oh, I need a gynecologist, I need a dermatologist, I need a plastic surgeon, I'm able to give them a few references and tell them, these are the people. And I always recommend to everyone, don't just go by the one person I recommend to you. Go get 2-3 consultations, especially if you're having surgery.
No, and that makes a lot of sense. And then they know that you're more loyal to them as well, by not just saying you need to go see this one person, this is the only person. And I think that's good to give a couple of them. Do they also, you know, refer back to you, because everybody wants referrals from people that you refer to?
The other physicians?
Yes.
To be honest with you, not really, because unfortunately, here's one of the things: if people are looking for specialists such as, if you would say a gynecologist, gynecologists don't think about aesthetics and anti-aging. So it's not something under their radar, okay? So they would never think to refer one of their patients to that. If they basically comes to mind that somebody says to them, oh, I want Botox, do you do Botox? Maybe once in a while there's tell somebody. The plastic surgeons, well, it depends, because obviously our practice is dermatology and plastics, so we have that right there in the office, but I give people the option of using our office or going to other offices that I've worked with as well, so that I'm not biased. And those other plastic surgeons, it depends. If they want to try to capitalize on all the aesthetics, they're not going to refer to you, I'm being honest. They want that business. I have a few plastic surgeons that will refer to me because they're not interested in spending time in aesthetics or anti-aging. They would prefer just to do the surgeries. So it just kind of depends, and you need to know who you're referring and cross-referring to.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking of when you were talking about it, is that cross-referral network that somebody who's just starting out, or could be just expanded into aesthetics, needs to grow, get known in their community, start building in the community. Again, because those referrals are like word of mouth referrals. So if somebody trusts you and they're loyal to you, they would trust their other physician, whether it's a plastic surgeon. These days, almost everybody wants to get into the healthcare retail cash business and retail business. So it is tough to be able to figure out how to cross promote and cross sell. And I see that. When you do your consults, and they sound very in-depth, and you spend a lot of time, are you finding that your rate of patients saying, yes, do something today, has gone up because people already have come to you from word of mouth marketing instead of just lots of ads that, that, you know, they saw and they decide just to walk through the door and they don't know who you are.
So actually with the consults, probably 9 out of 10 times or 9.5 out of 10 times when I do the consultation, people want to have the same day treatment. I have not had really, and all my medical assistants can tell you that on the front desk, I haven't had a patient walk out without saying, and I, unfortunately sometimes too, I've had to actually tell them, well, today was a consultation, you have to book an appointment, because when you have block time, and this is the reason I have my front desk ask the patient, are you interested in just a consultation or a consultation with possible same day treatment? The reason being is because they have seen and found that most of my patients will want same day treatment, especially people that are coming from even Miami instead of Boca, because it's an hour away. So this is the reason my out-of-state patients always will book a consult and same day treatment, of course, because they're not going to fly back and forth. And I usually do a phone consult with them first before they do fly in. But yes, I find that 9.5 out of 10 patients will always commit and book, and I win them over with the actual treatment plan and protocol.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, I think you have to look at your schedule, especially now, because, you know, we have to take time in between each patient, not see as many patients, but you could spend more time with that patient. And sometimes they don't know, do they want treatment that day or not? But I think if most people are coming in, they're going to spend a half hour with you. And it's because it's word of mouth, again, which is what I'm stressing, that they know that they're ready to make a commitment to something, even if it's just one small thing. You know, and I guess when you talked earlier, I think one of the things we didn't talk about was the reps will work with you from all of the companies to help you to be able to, whether it's a finance option and a new like 18-month payout, first 12-month payout, let's say the care credit, or if it's Allergan, you know, and you're working with a rep and you want to make your own special for that week, that month, you know, most of that, you have to really work with your reps and you really have to build communication because they need business, you want the business, and you want to make your patient happy at the same time. And I think you work that system really well. And that's how you're able to also give bundling and packages and discounts, or we can't say discounts, maybe added value. But when somebody signs up with you for a year's program or a month's program, whatever, how do you deal with putting together packages and programs for them at maybe an added value discount rate, which everybody wants something these days?
Well, the thing is this, so as you said, you can work out different programs with the companies, but when you work out those programs, it's at the office level, not the patient level. So it's going to be on you to say, for example, I have X number of patients that are not patients to the practice that basically I want to be able to give them, say, a second syringe at 50% off, right? So if you do that, then you are going to need to work out with your local rep that you need to buy X amount of syringes for them at a deeper discounted price, because don't forget, the more volume you purchase in any product, that's just retail industry and it's just a given, it's not called discount. So the more you buy in bulk, the better pricing you're going to get. So when you do that for your office practice, and I've done that with many offices, is I tell them, okay, so if you're buying, say, 10 syringes of one product, because you know that you have X amount of patients that are going to use it, and you want to be able to get them to just not do one syringe each, you want them to get 50% off. So the way you do is you're going to buy 20 syringes, work out that deal with the company, and you're able to extend that without taking a loss on your end. And that's what you want to do, because the patients are going to be very appreciative of that. And you also are not going to feel the sting on the back end by saying, okay, I have to take it out of inventory. It comes out of my net profit.
Right. And I think the bottom line is the bottom line here. You know, the word, everything you've said, I'm in total agreement with the word of mouth marketing, spending the time to build a bond and build a relationship for the loyal patients. Women are loyal. If they get a discount, sometimes they'll run somewhere else, where the male market, which I just did a whole program on this morning for an Italian group in Italy, you know, the men are much more loyal than even the women. What percentage of, somebody just actually asked this question, so it made me think of it, but what percentage of your practice are men?
So that's a great comment and point you just brought up. So in the beginning, the percentage of men was just about 10%, and they were just coming in for Botox, okay, which we call Brotox now, so to make it feel more masculine, okay? And now I am seeing probably about a 25% to 30% of my patients are men, and they're coming in now for fillers, lasers, Sculptra, and even body treatments, believe it or not. But of course, they don't want to tell their significant others. They don't want anybody to know, or any of their buddies. So of course, as you said, HIPAA and confidentiality and all of that. So we do keep that. And you're right, men tend to be more loyal because I think men are kind of a little shy about coming in for aesthetics. So once they find the provider that fits in with them and that can get them where they want, they're going to be committed to forever. It's really interesting.
Them feel comfortable. I think that's probably what it is. And by doing that and educating them as you do in the 1, 2, 3 step by step, that's what men need, because they're not as educated as women are. We've been doing a lot of this since we're teenagers. A lot of men just start in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, or whatever age group. So it's new to them opposed to women. And so, you know, I guess another question that just came in, I was just looking, was how often does your average patient come in to see you?
So the average patient, well, this is a good question too. I have a lot of patients that are very into aesthetics, and I have some of them that if they could come every week, they do, and they've made appointments, and I've had to put a stop to that. And I told them, I don't think our coffee is better than any other coffee shop, so I'm not really sure why they keep coming every week, because honestly, there is no aesthetic procedure you need to come in for weekly unless you're treating a skin cancer or some type of other skin condition, okay? And even that's not weekly. So patients do get addicted, but on the average, patients will come in religiously. I have to admit, religiously for their Botox every 3 to 4 months. And the other thing too is that my patients, I've been fortunate enough because of the relationship I've established with every one of them. If I tell them I need you to come in every 3 months, they will show up every 3 months. If I tell them 4 months, they come every 4 months. If I tell them they need to do in 6 months another laser, they will book in 6 months. So on average, you should be seeing your patient for sure for your Botox every 3 to 4 months. And then if you're doing anything like IPL, BBL for collagen and photo damage reversal, they also should be getting packages as well. And that's the other thing too, part of marketing and the consultation process is the packages. And we do also give, which is another loyalty rewards, if you want to call it. If you buy the laser treatments or any kind of injectable treatments in a package, you do get bulk discounting. What does that mean? It means that if you buy a package of 3 laser treatments, you'll get the 4th one free, okay? So, which is huge for a lot of people. The other thing too, you can also create, which I've done in one of the practices with in New York, people like to have what they call a yearly Botox membership, okay? I know that sounds kind of bizarre. It's like almost a gym membership. And people have said, what's a yearly? What that means is that you pay X dollars for the entire year of Botox. You pay it one time up front. You come in every 3 months, you get your treatment, and you get any corrections for that entire year at that fixed price. So it does save you at the back end.
But it has to be hard to figure out like a fixed price. I guess you do it per area. I know your areas.
Well, no, it's based on the patient. It's based on the patient. So you do it by the area, correct, Cheryl?
Okay. So if somebody comes in, they just need this or this, and I know that you do some, you know, and the rest of the face as well.
So I do actually everything from microtox for skin tightening to Botox for neck and chest and décolleté. And I also do the traditional 3 areas as well as facial contouring with Botox, including jawline, facial contouring. So I do a lot, and even nose tip lifts. I do all kinds of things. So I will go ahead and customize, and the pricing is based on this. Say you only need those 3 traditional areas, then we already know the pricing is by the area. So you will come in every 3 months just for those 3 areas, and that's the total pricing for the entire year, and you get a discount on it, obviously, because you're buying and prepaying up front. And that's what you're going to come every 3 months get is your 3 areas. For those patients of mine that do full face, full neck, and their jawline contouring, of course, that's going to be calculated in the price. So it's not like everybody's going to pay the same price for the year. It's what they need.
Okay.
But it's a good prevention and maintenance package, I call it.
Right. And I think the packages are great because I think if they're loyal patients, and that also, as you said before, does keep them loyal to you, opposed to going somewhere else because they see $100 off special. And I think that that's great, and that'll keep you busy, you know, for many, many years to come. But I think the patient loyalty and the word of mouth marketing is a key to your success. And I think you're doing a great job. And I thank you for being on today. I thank you for being here. I know there's so many more things that we could talk about, but we're trying to keep the webinars a little shorter since people are short on time. But we definitely will be back with more. And if there's any other questions, we'll get them to you to be answered. And again, I thank you for being here today. And it was a pleasure.
Well, thank you, Cheryl. It's always a pleasure speaking with you and sharing everything possible with you. And I always love being on with you.
Oh, thank you so much. So the Beautiful Forever University we're launching, and we even talked about, you know, the educational platform as an educator by trade, talking about really how to grow your knowledge and stay on top of what's happening, whether it's trends in the industry or education or hands-on training. And the whole aesthetic business is always evolving and changing and growing. So you need to stay on top of it. I mean, you need to invest time and money into education, as you know, as a physician. But I think that this unique solution and situation with Beautiful Forever University should be interesting to most that want to continue their education and their knowledge. We have a pre-launch program now as we're getting ready, closer and closer to launch. So we will give discounts for consulting hours. We will give them discounts on the books and on other information that we are providing to them, as well as private one-on-one classes. But we do have some great dates, so we need to just change the slides. And we have some dates coming up with some very interesting speakers. And so we will have a save the date screen up in a minute. And so July 1st is our next speaker. We weren't going to do anything the weekend of July 1st, but we decided, okay, we need to do that. So July 1st, we actually have somebody who is a master at virtual events and programs. And he also is part of a very big group, My Face, My Body, and they were the first virtual trade show. They're in their second year. I actually am part of it. And the founder of that is Stephen Handesides, and he will actually be on July 1st at 3 o'clock Eastern time. We also have on July 8th following a live stream with live streaming surgeries and step-by-step virtual consults, and how it's amazing how that's blowing up on social media. And they don't even have to offer discounts anymore to be a patient. It's amazing, you know, to have your virtual surgery and have your family watching. I don't know that I'd be wanting to watch, but okay. So Dr. Stanley Acaro is growing his practice in Georgia, and he has a med spa and a plastic surgery practice, and he's doing amazingly well. I mean, the numbers that he's getting, I think the last I saw was maybe 41,000 were on one of his last live surgeries. He'll be showing us some videos and telling us about that. And I'm excited that moving in, you know, to 2021 and what the trends are, we have a guest, Amy Ammon, who is a publisher for Dermatology Times, a publisher for aesthetic magazines, and part of a huge company and very involved in the industry. So that should be very interesting. And that's on July 15th. And she'll also be announcing a new publication that was just launched in January, and they also have newsletters. So we have some great lineup. We have people from Rome, Italy. We have some people from Israel coming aboard. So we're working out, you know, all of July and August right now. So I thank you for being on, and I look forward to seeing everybody. I thank you for your participation. The pre-launch to Beautiful Forever University slide will be up, and we made it very reasonable right now, as it would just be $199, And so any students that you have or any friends that you have in the industry who might be interested in being a member, right now it's at a very low rate just because we're building. So we have our first few dozen booked in probably about 3 months ago, and now it's probably growing by like 20 to 50 every week or two. So we're very excited about it. And it also includes a copy of my Beautifully Profitable book. So I look forward to seeing everybody next time. Tune in and follow us on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, and have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.